Hey guys, welcome back to another plant shop vlog where I show you guys what it's like running a plant store from home. In this vlog, we're going to be going through some of the seedlings and propagations that we have. We're going to be restocking the shop and packing this week's orders. So right in front of me, this bin here is a bin of like all of my little seedlings that I've had growing. They're all in 2-inch pots or 4-inch pots, and I'm going to be going through pretty much all of them and seeing if they're ready to be like bumped up into a 4-inch so that I can go ahead and start bringing these into the next restock. So a lot of these have been in here for about 1 to 2 months, so it is time to finally check on them. When I have seedlings and propagations like this, I do keep them in just a clear bin like this, and I will put the clear lid on it and I will keep it under a grow light and I will just leave it alone. That usually works the best for little tiny plants to really help them grow a little faster. In here is a mixture of different plants. It's mostly philodendron elchoca reds. They're all pretty much the same size and they look the same. This is what some of them are looking like. The thing about little tiny seedlings like this and starter plants is you have to always keep in mind that they are babies and the leaves are going to come in and go. A lot of these leaves are not going to stay as the plant gets bigger, and that's just part of like the whole cycle. I do have some Anthurium queens in here as well, and some of their older leaves are going. I also have these two Philodendron Florida Ghost mints. And I think I'm going to wait on these because I don't really see their roots like that clearly. When I'm in the process of restocking my shop with the propagations and stuff, I do just check the sides of the pot to see if I can see any roots or if there's roots hanging out the bottom. That's usually a good sign for me that I can like put them up on the shop that they're growing really nicely. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing right now, is just checking them and seeing which ones I want to bump up and put on the shop this week. I also am trying to clear out some of the propagation bins just because I am going to be having a new shipment soon anyway for June, so I want to be able to just make some space. So I have those. I have my potting mix here. I just have a little bit for today. This is my soil-free potting mix. It's the same thing that these are already in. I also put out some stratum plants as well that I'm going to put into a bigger container to sell them. This is Hoya RHM 066 Mary Alice. So this one has been growing in this little tiny cup for a while. It's been in high humidity, so you can see like the aerial roots have been going crazy. So I'm just going to put it in a bigger container. And then I also have these two props here. These are Philodendron White Knights, and I put them both in stratum at first so that they could just root really fast, and they did. So I'm going to take them out of stratum today and I'm going to put them in potting mix, I think, instead. These are both Philodendron Red Andersons. So I have this one here, and then I have just this one leafer, and it's putting out all these little babies down here. So I think I'm going to just put these in stratum and just let them be like that and sell them when they are growing a little bit more in the stratum. So that's the plan for these plants here. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to decide what plants I want to put up on the shop and then do a quick restock. I tilted the camera down so that you could see a little bit better of what I'm doing. I hope that's okay with you guys. I do usually like to tilt the camera down so that you can see better. So like I said in the beginning, these are babies, so the leaves are going to come and go. So obviously they don't look like perfect right now. So I think what I'm mostly looking for is ones that look the best, and those are the ones that I'm going to probably put up right away, and then the other ones will wait until they have some better looking leaves. I'm just gonna grab one by one and just go from there. This is Philodendron Elchoca Red, and this is what this one is looking like. I'm just going to bump it up to a 4-inch pot, and I'm just going to do this with like pretty much all of them. So this one is done. I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of the Elchoca Reds. So these are Philodendron SP Columbias. They are also just little babies, so I'm just gonna do the same thing with these. A lot of the little seedlings do have like yellowing leaves, so I'm just gonna trim them and be done with it now. Once they have some better leaves, we can definitely sell them, but their roots are looking really good, so I expect new leaves soon. I've already pretty much cleared out the propagation bin, the one with all the stratum plants. There's only like maybe like less than 10 plants in there, so I'm doing really good with clearing that out to make space. Pretty much all that's in there right now is just the philodendron orange princesses. They are almost ready to be sold as well because they're putting out some new leaves and they look really good too. The variegation is coming through, so probably in the next couple of weeks we'll have some more of those orange princesses as well. So this is the last SP Columbia and the El Choco Reds are done. I have the Florida Ghost. I'm not seeing enough roots on the side for me to like want to mess with them. So I'm just gonna clean them up if they need it, but this is what they look like. So I'm just going to leave them for maybe a couple more weeks before I move those out. So I am going to just keep everything back in the bin, but I am going to pull out the ones that I want to sell so that I can just move them to the sell bin. So I'm going to do these two because they look pretty good. They have like nice big leaves. Also maybe this one as well. I think I'm going to pass on the SP Columbias just because I don't think that they look the greatest right now still. I do have, I think 2 or 3 SP Columbias 4-inch pots already on the shop. That's fine. We just don't have any of these, so I might as well just put these 3 up this week. So I'll put these to the side. So the other thing that is in that little bin is this plant here. This is Philodendron Soderoy variegated. So I do have one of these and I've been growing it out. This is what it looks like. It was very, very tiny before and it's finally growing a lot. I'm going to actually cut it, I think, into like 2 or 3 pieces to get the props growing from it now. And I'm gonna pot the props in stratum. So this plant is still a baby as well, but I do want to cut it though just to get it started. So there are going to be small little baby plants. I just want to get it done and out of the way, you know. So I'm going to just leave it like this now, and I'm going to trim off the yellow ones, and I'm going to just bump this up into a 4-inch so that it can grow a little bit better and faster as well. Just going to do that, and then I'll just put these ones in stratum. I wanted to get more of these, but since the first time they had them, they haven't had them again. So I'm hoping soon maybe they'll have some more. And if they do, I definitely will get more. I only got one at the time because it was kind of expensive and I knew it was going to be really, really small, which it was. So it honestly like wasn't really worth it to me, like wholesale wise. I don't think it was really worth it. If they have them again, I definitely will pick them up just because I know some of you guys had like sent me emails asking about this one. I will let you guys know once I have more of these. So now it's been bumped up into a 4-inch and it probably will grow a little bit better now. And then I have these 2 guys down here, which I think I might split them into just 3, and I'll probably just put them all in one container so that they grow together. I have these Philodendron White Knights here. So let's take a look and see how these guys are doing. They have a little bit of roots, but not as much as I thought that they would. This is what they look like. Hopefully you can see. Stratum can get really messy when it's like wet like this, but this is what it looks like. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just pot it up and just keep it in like high humidity so that it stays moist enough and it doesn't like get hurt by like the transition. So I'll just put it in a 4-inch pot for now. And don't worry, this black stuff is not like root rot. It's just the stratum. It will dry up and you won't see it at some point once the plant grows out. And I'll keep this in a high humidity bin because I am transitioning it from semi-hydro to potting mix, and it might take a little bit of a shocker if it doesn't have enough moisture to like mimic that same like environment. So this is what it looks like now. Honestly, I'm just going to reuse the stratum for anything else that I'm going to be potting up in stratum. I might just put it in its own little container to dry it out, and then I'll just use it for something else. Probably something in my collection that needs it. This one actually has a lot of roots, to be honest. I feel like this one we can pot it up and sell it because it does have a lot of root compared to the other one. So maybe we'll put this one up this week. I'm just going to rinse off the roots on this one because it is really, really messy. So I'll be right back. All right, so this is what this one is looking like now. I just rinsed it off with a little spray bottle. I'm gonna actually pot this one in a 5-inch pot just because it has like some crazy aerial roots too. So I'm going to tuck the aerial roots in here as well. I actually usually do a lot of stuff like this off camera, but I figured I would just do it for you guys today. When I'm like repotting plants and stuff, and doing like things like this, it's just really quick for me. I don't really like have much to say and stuff about what I'm doing. I kind of just do it and like that's it. So that's why you don't really see me always like doing like repots and stuff like that unless it's like a big shipment, and usually those are like sped up. But it's really hard for me to like do a sit down like video and like talk about what I'm doing when it comes to like repotting the plants. Usually I also stand up when I'm doing stuff like this. I'm not sure why I decided to sit down today. But hopefully you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm done with the potting mix, so I'm just going to clean this up really quick, and then I'm going to just do the little fluval propagations real quick. So the next plants are just going to be some stratum plants. This one is the Mary Alice. So I had it in this little tiny cup for the moment, so I'm just going to just put it in a bigger one, and we can list this one for sale. I'm actually just going to reuse this stratum perlite because there's nothing wrong with it and I don't want to like waste it. So I do mix the stratum with perlite sometimes just so that I'm not using so much stratum. Stratum is expensive. If you're a stratum user, you know, but it is expensive and you don't get a lot. The perlite will take up more space in the cup, so I don't have to use like full stratum. So this is what we got going on. We have this guy here, and this is what it looks like. So we'll put this on the side for plants to restock. So these are the other two little red Andersons. I have a little pup here, and then I have this one. These ones are clearly not ready, so just going to just use what I have for right now. Just gonna get it in stratum because it was in water, and I have a hard time remembering like my water propagations lately, so I'd rather just have it in stratum. So this one is done as well. I just have to clean up the leaves because they have like the stratum all over it, but I'll do that later. Then we have the 3 of the little soderoy variegated props. I'm just going to stick them all in one little container. All right, and I'm literally just going to just stick them in because they don't have any roots anyway. So we're just gonna stick them in and then stick them in a humidity bin and wait and see how they do. And then once they start growing individually, I will put them in their own container and then we can get ready to sell them. So then I'll probably sell them once they all have like 2 to 3 leaves and have good roots and they're all in their own container. All right, so this is what these guys look like. So here's everything we have for this week we just did. I don't really have anything else to really put up on the shop this week. So I am happy with the little bit that we have. It's definitely okay to not have a big restock every single week. Even if you just restock 1 or 2 things, that's totally fine. I still have a ton of stuff on my shop anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. I will be ordering a new shipment anyway for June coming up. So I definitely will have a ton of new stuff again. And that's really why I wanted to, you know, start pushing out some of these props so that I could make room for new ones. And with summer coming up, a lot more people are going to be buying plants. Even though I ship all year round, some people are a little bit more hesitant to order plants in the colder months, which I totally understand. So I am getting a lot more traffic now, especially from a lot of new customers. So for summertime, I think the shipments are going to be a lot bigger as long as there's enough things on the wholesale list for me to get, just so that we have a lot of plants all summer, because that is when the shop does the best. So I'm just going to quickly just clean these up and get them ready for pictures and put their labels on them, and then I'm going to move them to the selling side of the shop. And then all the rest of the propagations, I will water those, and that'll probably be it for today. So for their labels, I just have a pre-made sticker that looks like this. It just says my shop name and the website. So I'll put these on each plant, and then I will individually put another label on top of it that has like the plant name and the number, so that I don't get confused and then I can keep track of what plant is which. If you are looking to sell plants, you have to be organized with what you're doing because it's really easy to get confused. Even if you really think you know like all your plants and stuff like that, it is easy to, you know, make mistakes sometimes. How I have this room set up is that I have all of my personal plants like behind me. So everything you see behind me in the videos, like here, this is my stuff. I have the shop plants on that wall, and then I have plants that are propagating or not for sale yet on the opposite side over there. And that keeps me organized so that I don't have things for sale and things not for sale all together. It really makes a difference having all your stuff organized, especially when you are selling a ton of plants like me. I have this little Bluetooth printer here. It connects to your phone, and I just type in what the plant is and it just, you know, prints out from here. That's how I like to do it. And then it just prints out of the top right here. I love this little thing because it's just easy to like label stuff. And I also like to label like my potting mix bins and stuff like that, like things I keep in my material closet. And then this is just what it looks like. It's also nice too to have your plants labeled in advance for your customers so that when they unbox it, they know what it is, because a lot of people do buy plants that obviously they never had before. And sometimes if they buy a lot of plants in one go, they might forget like what it was called or how to spell it. So it is nice to just have that extra little label on them. And what I like to always do with the shop plants before I take pictures is just clean off their leaves of any dirt, dust, and anything else. I also do the same process right before I pack them up so they're nice and clean as well. You've definitely seen me do this a million times, and you've seen this bottle a million times. In here is a mixture of neem oil concentrate, water, and dish soap. I will put a picture up on the screen of what neem oil concentrate looks like. I will also have it linked in my description below. It's in my Amazon favorites, so you just have to click into the Amazon favorite links and then go to pest control, and you will be able to find it there. The neem oil concentrate is not the same as the pre-mixed bottle of neem oil. This is a product where you have to mix it yourself, which is why I prefer it, because it lasts much longer. So the concentrate is very, very thick. You only need a little bit, and it has instructions on the bottle of how much to mix it with water and how much dish soap you need. And that is what I've always used for the plants when it comes to just making sure that the leaves are nice and clean, shiny, and it also works as a good pest preventative method. It doesn't kill pests on contact, so I don't want you to get confused thinking that's what it's for. Having the solution just on the leaves, it just prevents pests from like wanting to like go on them and like lay eggs on them. So that's why I like to do it. I know some people always ask if it's like sticky or like oily, and it's definitely not. It can be if you're not using the right water to like neem oil ratio. But if you're just following what it says on the bottle, you'll be okay. It just makes such a big difference in the plant itself. It just looks much better this way, and I just like doing this. And I just keep it in this big bottle here. It's just like another spray bottle. It has like a little manual pump like this, and you can just use it like however you want. I have another bottle similar to this one on my Amazon favorites as well, in case you were looking for something similar. And yeah, that's what I've been doing pretty much my whole plant journey, and this is what has worked great for me, so that's why I continue to do it. I will do this to all the plants in this room every 2 weeks, as well as spray them down with the insecticidal soap as well, which that is for killing pests if there are any. Two different products, they have two different purposes. Yeah, I do pest treat all of these plants in here. It's definitely important for you to stay on top of your pest treatments and stuff like that for your plants, especially if you have a lot of them. I know it can be like boring and stuff, but you will see a huge difference if you actually take the time and look at your plant's health and their condition, so that you're not shocked one day when you look at your plant and it has like a huge infestation because you've never checked it before. And that's why I'm very strict with myself when it comes to my plants of how they are looking and stuff. So it does take a little time to do stuff like this, but I think it's worth it in the long run, because then you don't have to worry about pests and you won't have a headache. And when you're doing this, you're actually inspecting the plant, you're inspecting all of the leaves. So if something's on there, you'll see it ahead of time, versus, like I said, it's too late and now you have an infestation. If you've been following me for a while, you guys know I absolutely hate bugs. Good bugs, bad bugs, I don't like any of them. So I absolutely do not play when it comes to like pests. I don't like it, and I don't care like if they're good bugs. I'm not into beneficial mites. I just can't do it. I hate bugs. So I'm very particular like with the plants and how clean they are and stuff. So yeah, that's just me personally. There are other methods of pest control that don't involve chemicals and sprays and stuff like that. And it's really just personal preference on what you want to do. But I'm not educated enough to tell you about beneficial mites and stuff like that, because I don't use those. So I'm just finishing up. This is the last one, making them look really nice for their picture. And then I'm gonna just clean up the table and get the backdrops out, get these pictures done so that I can restock on Thursday. So let me finish up restocking the shop. So I just cleaned up and I'm about to take pictures. I did just get a delivery of all these new trellises. They're not necessarily new. They're the same as before. I'm just restocking them. So I do sell clear acrylic trellises as well on my shop. They're perfect for like your Hoyas and stuff like that. But this size in particular, the small round one, is so popular, especially on Etsy, that I barely had any left. So I recently ordered these a few weeks ago, so they just came in today. So I have to go through and count these and put these away and update the inventory levels. I also did order the small U-shaped one as well, because this is another one that's super popular that's pretty much selling out. This one, they have it wrapped in like all this tissue paper. But this is what this one looks like if you're not familiar with them. This little blue tape stuff on here, it's just a film that you just peel off. It's on both sides, but they are completely transparent. So I do need to go through these and count them all, make sure I have all of them, and then update all the inventory levels on my shop too. I've also been thinking about getting some different shapes in these. I've been considering getting the heart shape for sure. I think that one is super cute, and possibly like the double circle one. So let me know what you guys think about that. I know you guys really like these trellises. These actually are selling really well on my Etsy, so I'm really happy about that. So anyway, I'm going to just put these to the side for now, and I'll deal with this sometime later this week. So I have my backdrop set up. I'm just going to take the pictures really quick. I do get quite a lot of DMs and like emails about these backdrops. These I got custom made from a vendor on Alibaba. If you are a business, you probably know what Alibaba is. But Alibaba is basically a wholesale website for businesses to buy things in wholesale. I've gone through a lot of different backdrops. I've made them myself. I've used just like white poster boards. I've used tile, all types of stuff. But I knew it was time for me to look for something a little bit more long term that is more durable as well. So I found these like a couple months ago. They are double sided. So on the back of the white marble is black marble, and on the back of this light gray concrete is dark gray concrete, in case I ever want to switch it up. So yeah, I have these, and they were custom made for me because I had needed a specific size. So I definitely think it's very important as a business, if you're selling a product, to have a decent background. Regardless of what you're selling, you should have a decent background, because it's going to just make it look nicer. You want to make sure you have nice lighting, a good background, and no like distractions of your product. So on the side here, as you can see, I do have a light here, and I have another one right here just to shine more light on the backdrop for the picture. And I just use my phone. I just use my iPhone. It's like an old iPhone, it's iPhone 12, and it works fine for me. I'm going to one day definitely invest in probably a camera just for product pictures, but for now this is the little setup. I like the backdrop because it makes the shop photos look a little bit more consistent, and I really like that. So after I'm done doing this, I do have to actually make the listings on my website. And usually when I do that like on Monday night or Tuesday nights. And that's when I go ahead and update some of the things on my shop as well. I do always display the dates of the next shipping day on my website so that you guys know when I'm going to be shipping out as well. So I usually will update that on like Tuesday or Wednesday so that you guys know the next date for shipping out plants. And then I also like get rid of all of the listings that have sold so that it's easier for you to navigate on the shop, so you're not just seeing things that are just sold out as well. I usually will just hide those. And for now, I'm just going to finish cleaning up in here, and I have to water all the little seedlings and these plants as well, since I did just repot them. And then tomorrow I do have quite a few orders to pack, so we're going to be doing that as well. Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm going to be packing up some orders. As you can see, we have some plants here that have sold this weekend. I did do a small restock last Thursday, so these are the plants that sold over the weekend. And these are going to be getting shipped out tomorrow on Monday. And anything else that comes in is going to be shipped out on Tuesday. So let me show you guys all the plants that sold this weekend. The first one we have here, this is Anthurium veitchii. The next one we have is Monstera adansonii archipelo. The archipelo's leaves come in this pale yellow color, and then eventually they will fade to this green color. The next one we have is Hoya rindu rafflesia, and it comes on this cute bamboo trellis. We have this starter plant here. This is Monstera lechleriana variegated. We have 3 Rhapidophora tetrasperma variegated. We have this one here. and this one here. And then we have this big one here. This is a full potted plant. This one's been on the shop for quite a while now, maybe a couple weeks, and it definitely has grown a lot since the picture. This is what it's looking like today, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love this plant so much. And we also sold some alocasias. We have this little alocasia Fryedeck variegated here. We have this alocasia dragon scale variegated here. And lastly, we have this alocasia black velvet variegated. This is an up close of what this plant is looking like. This is the newest leaf that came out this week. It's so beautiful. Look at the colors. I'm obsessed with this plant. Sold some accessories as well. We sold the 7-inch tall pot. This is what it looks like. It has the drainage on the bottom and the air slots on the side. And we also sold the 4-inch round pot. We have a bunch of trellises here. This is a mixture of shop stuff and Etsy stuff. We have the big round ones here. We have a bunch of the small round ones and then the small U-shaped one. And also sold a bunch of these clear moss pools. This style is the frosted clear and it's size small. It does come flat. You do have to just assemble it yourself. I also did sell a bag of our custom pond mix, which I'm going to make that bag right now. We do have quite a few new customers. We have Alyssa, Christy, Marisol, Pamela, and Jacqueline. So if you're a new customer, you will get my thank you card and stickers. And if you're a returning customer, you'll just get a bunch of plant stickers instead.